We can't find this.
No, it's just, I think it's just been. Suggest we keep it downstairs.
You know, I didn't specifically invite Brenda to the meeting. I just thought that she,
I think she just knows
yeah,
that then maybe she wasn't able to make it. I know she's
Okay.
moving, so.
yeah. Okay. Let's get rolling, sir. Thank you. Okay, good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to the March 4th, 2014 Village of New Paltz Planning Board meeting. It is now 7:08 p.m. My name is Maurice Whiteman. I'm the chair, calling the meeting to order. Other members of the board are Rich Steffens, Michael Zerler, Liz Harshall, and John Litton. Our attorney is George Rodenhausen, and our secretary is Brogan Rose O'Donnell. We have 2 items on the agenda and some draft minutes to approve. The first item is a determination of the completeness of the application for site plan modification to the existing buildings, some existing buildings at Woodland Pond. The second is a continuation of a public hearing for PB 1307, which is a site plan modification for 46 Church Street. Without objection, I'd like to do the public hearing continuation and recontinuation now, get that over with. So may I have a motion to open the public hearing for PB 1307?
I know we reopened.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Mr. Litton, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody in the public like to speak to this item? Hearing none, may I have a motion to continue the public hearing until our next meeting, which will be March 18, 2014.
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. Count on you, buddy. Second, please.
Second.
Thank you, John. All in favor?
Actually, that was Liz.
Was it Liz?
Yeah. That's all right.
Well, if I don't see lips
moving, yeah.
I'm lost. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Is that you then?
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Any policy that says how many times we're going to allow?
You know, at some point, I don't know that we have a policy. At some point, we might be able to ask if this is still an active application or if we intend to do something. I think that's all we can do.
Okay.
You could also, if he's not actively interested in moving forward, adjourn it to a date in April, May, June, whatever.
But we
he's
would
trying
have
to work with.
we would have to speak with him first
Sure.
to give him the implications of what we would do, rather than keep having to be here every time. But
And do we know whether there's currently a application from the ZBA?
there is not. There is not.
There's not.
There is
No.
not.
So nothing in front of the ZBA, and he hasn't been back here.
That's right.
I tried contacting him but didn't hear back yet.
He's doing whatever he has to do to figure out what to do next, and it's out of our hands at the
So,
moment.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Are you
take
Mr.
care of that.
Wayne?
Yes, I am.
Come on up here.
Check that one off.
Okay, so this is a proposal to add sunrooms to 3 cottages owned by Woodland Pond. Now, what's the official name of the organization? Not Woodland Pond, is it? What's it called? Whatever it is. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, whatever it is. We know what we're talking about. And Jim, you are the contractor?
I'm the sales
And
rep
the
for,
applicant.
yeah, for
Right.
the, for our company.
Okay. So, would you like to give, now let's see, we did something with this application last
Mhm.
meeting?
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, meeting
So
before.
meeting before we did the,
The rate, I believe.
right, we just
Oh, back in November.
We just
Yeah.
informed you of the, well,
Yeah, that was
November
several
19th.
months ago.
yeah, okay.
November 19th, we said.
Okay, so that was just the rate for the,
Yeah.
for the building fee. Okay. So here we are. We have the application. We just got the revised EAF, and you said that we did get an MOU and,
And the Highland, yep.
okay. Okay, so, Mr. Wing, would you like to briefly explain to the public assembled at the other end of the tube and
Sure. They, Woodland Pond, as you know, they have the cottages that kind of ring around the side of the main complex there. 3 or 4 years back, we installed the screen porches up on the main complex, so they asked us to come on down and take a look at. They had some people wanted some other type of rooms down in that area. So basically, there were 3 people late last summer kind of came together, and they wanted a 3-season project. It's a manufactured room, but Woodland Ponds had some things that they wanted to have each room. They wanted to have shingles on top of the roof to match theirs. A knee wall that has the same siding all the way around. But they're basically unhabitable single pane tempered glass and screen enclosures. There'll be a foundation put in by a gentleman in New Paltz, Tony Dietz, if the time comes. So each one of them will have a frost wall foundation underneath it with a pad. No heat. I believe no electric, so
3 seasons?
yes.
Okay. And there were some concerns that were raised here, and I'm not sure if in your presence or not, about why only 3 at this time. Because people were concerned that this might be a piecemeal thing, and someone will be back, and we would like to be able to deal with all of them at once.
Yeah.
And then the response at the time was something like, nobody else was interested, or something.
Yes, there's a lot of vacancies. The cottages are not all filled.
Right.
In fact, 2 of the 3 places we're doing there don't have neighbors next door in their duplex.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just more a demand or an interest
Right.
type of a...
And can you explain, or maybe Mr. Zerillo knows something about this, but there's an interesting way that this is owned, that Woodland Pond is owned. So there's the central part that's owned by and operated by Woodland Pond Inc., or whatever they're called.
Yeah, the healthcare lines.
And then there are these cottages that are also owned by Woodland Pond, although people paid for them somehow.
Yeah.
So could you explain what?
Well, all of the cottages and apartments, any residence somebody has there, they purchased them under a contract where when they leave Woodland Pond,
One way or the other.
one way or the other, they or their heirs are entitled to 90% of the purchase price
Oh.
back. So it's an agreement in which they put a certain amount of money down in order to live in that place. They pay a monthly maintenance fee, which covers a variety of things, some directly involving their residence and some indirectly. And then there are other ancillary fees that aren't related to living on the property, but being able to use the services, the healthcare services that are
Right.
available. So yeah, so it's not rent, it's not home ownership, it is a different kind of arrangement.
It's almost like a lease.
It's almost like a lease, but you put most of the money
Right,
down front.
right.
So in that sense, the construction of it is different. So,
Okay.
So who
And-
has, I'm sorry,
Yes.
so who has title to the college, not college, to the cottage?
that's a good question on that. I don't think that, I think that the people who live in the residences do not hold
I
title.
think that's the way I understand it.
But I don't know that for certain, but I'm pretty sure that that's why Woodland Pond is listed as the owner of record.
Right.
Right.
It's interesting, when I was in there, talking to the people, they also had other people in. they can upgrade theirs. They can bring in flooring people and change their kitchen and remodel it. They pay for themselves, but
Right.
they can kind of change the whole, apartment, condo, or duplex, or whatever you want to call it. So
Yeah.
they can spend their own money there, but yeah, the ownership,
Now, my understanding is that they may have to restore it to the original.
I don't think that's.
Okay.
I don't, anecdotally, I don't think that's true. Knowing people who have moved out or passed away, there, as far as I know, when those apartments become available, and I guess it's true for cottages,
Right.
There as
it's
is.
really up to the people who want to move in next, whether they want the amenities there or whether they want to redo them. I don't think there's an obligation to restore it to the original.
Okay.
That would be complicated.
I'm not sure where I got this from, but I thought that in this specific instance, that if they want to sell or move out or whatever it is, Woodland Pond has a buyer who doesn't want that. Woodland Pond can then say to
Oh.
the person, you have to remove it. I don't know, that's,
Yeah.
I heard that
I don't know
somewhere.
about that.
Maybe I'm making it up. Okay. So I think we have that. So now, to the matter at hand, we're here this evening to determine whether the application is complete, and that includes the EAF, the environmental assessment form, which was filled out using the old format, and now we have the new. And after we vote on its completeness, if we say that it is complete, then we can send it to the county for their approval. So we have to refer it to the county because it's within 500 feet of the county road and of the town border. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes, sir.
Do we have a letter of opposition from Mr. Wing to act on behalf of the applicant?
Yeah, we do.
John Smith, who says he's from, I guess, Health Alliance,
Yep.
signed the owner's authorization.
Right. He is someone with whom I spoke a while back in a different context, but
Oh, okay.
He was at the November 19th meeting also, just
Right.
representing.
right.
Oh, sorry for me.
Okay, I'm going to first ask our attorney if he has any comments or questions.
No, I don't. Now we have the updated as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, thank you. Any other members have any questions or comments?
Well, we still have the site plan, so if he's still encroaching on any setbacks, something like that.
That's right, we don't have a site plan, that's right. Yeah, so,
Well, we've never seen the original site plan. I guess that was the question I had before, to see how these lay on the site plan. It does seem that these are about the buildings, you know,
Yes.
and they all, looking at the drawings we have, they're not very, they don't,
You know, state-
reach out, they don't extend very
They
much.
don't extend beyond the,
Right, the largest one, I think, some of them are flush with the back of the building. I think the biggest one goes out maybe about 4 feet beyond
Yeah.
the bump out of the window.
I think that's cottage 4.
It's a foot, I could be wrong, but
I think that's right.
Yeah, and the work chart was,
I mean, we have a copy of the building inspectors at this point, that I'd be satisfied if they just give us
You
a
know,
note saying that it falls.
I will give you some background here, Rich. As you know, we've had a good deal of turnover downstairs in the building department. We've had, for a while, we've had no building inspector.
Yes.
Then we had one who worked 15 hours a week. And now we have 2 part-time inspectors. One, Rich, works, I think it's still 15 hours a week, and Mark works 3 days a week. And we have a planner now, for which we'll replace Kurt's tenure here. So I asked Brenda, our new planner, if she would take responsibility for providing us with a cover letter review of each application before we get it, which is the way Kurt did it, and it's the way Rodney did it before him, and so that we know that they have looked at it, that it meets building codes, that it's in the right zone, that things are, ducks are lined up. So Brenda has agreed to do that for us. I spoke to Mark about this briefly, it must have been on Friday, it may have been Wednesday last week, to ask him if he looked at this, and at the time he didn't, and I think he hasn't since. So it really hasn't had sufficient review from my perspective. But they will be on it for the building permit part of this. But I am concerned that we haven't seen this site plan, but I agree with Michael and with Jim that this probably isn't going to encroach on any setbacks.
Can't imagine.
It certainly doesn't look like it, right?
4 foot is the max, there's
Extension.
2 of them go up past the bump out 4 foot,
Right.
so the back of the house is.
Right.
Well, on your sketches, to the rear you have 50 feet. Is that, are you indicating that's 50 feet to the property line?
Basically, on 2 of them, it's, that goes back ever wild. So I took it like a residential yard, where it's mowed, and then it basically goes off to a cliff. And I'm not
Yeah.
sure who owns that part of it. So I went back to that part of the yard, just like it was a fence there, where the cliff is. And then I went to the property lines on each side, where the neighbor, the duplex, you can see a clear divide in
Right.
the duplex on one side. And on the other side, there was a yard, there was basically where the utility section is, that's usually a division point on a 2 yards come together.
Right.
So I did it like a residential plot plan, just going to property lines that I could see, but
Well,
I-
to the rear, there's no question that you won't have any setback problems, because
Right.
there's one of the
Yeah.
pond owns tens of acres going
yeah,
to
that's
the
what,
east, and so that's not, I think the only setback issues would be side to side.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue.
And I don't think
with
there
that.
will be.
There's nothing in the file that states it.
that was easy to determine the side ones,
Right.
because there's basically, the house, the duplex, the division on one side,
Yeah,
and then
so,
the yards kind of divide on the other side.
and
Okay, so then may I ask board members and our attorney whether the absence of a site plan is a hindrance to us now in determining this as a complete application?
I don't think so.
I don't see it would be.
Okay, I agree. I don't see, without objection, we'll just keep going then.
okay.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, did I ask you directly if you had any comments or questions of the applicant?
No comments or
Okay.
questions.
And we're okay, all right. So, do we do secret now, George? Okay. So, just in general, the timing of this will be that assuming we can get through this and determine that the application is complete, it will then be referred to the county. Today is the 4th, so they won't meet again until the first Wednesday in April, which is April 2nd. Now, I doubt that there'll be a snowstorm in April,
You never know.
but we have had, you can't tell this year, we have had the last 2 meetings canceled by then.
Wow.
And when they're canceled, I haven't seen them yet reschedule it for that month. So what happens is, they have 30 days in which to respond to, or in which to respond to the referrals, and if they don't, then it's tacit approval of, I don't know whether you're right.
Deemed approved. Yeah.
It's deemed approved. So in any event, to be safe, we could say that 30 days from when we submit it, which should be this week,
Okay.
right? And that would be, let's say we send it off. Now, is it when they receive it? Do you remember that?
It's
I think
when
it's
it
when they
hits their
receive it.
desk, yeah.
Yeah. So if we send it out tomorrow, are you in tomorrow?
Yeah, I can come in tomorrow
Okay.
and send it.
Well, you don't have to come in special for it.
I was gonna already be in the
Okay,
morning.
fine. So if Brenda, I've spoken with Brenda about her signing these. Once we approve it, once we deem it
Mhm.
complete and refer it to the county, she will sign it. You can
Okay.
send it. They'll get it by Thursday, so that means 30 days from the 6th. To be safe, we should say it would be on April 16th. we can schedule it for the 2nd, assuming that they're going to do it. But is there a timetable that you're going to need to?
Not really. The people have been very patient.
Right.
So the winter you really couldn't dig. So
Right, but by
spring-
April, you should be able to.
Yeah.
so-
Yes. Yeah. That would be. No, everyone's
So-
patient.
Okay, so we can talk about this later, but I would be comfortable in betting that they will meet on the 2nd, which means that we can't see it until, or we can't act on it until our next meeting, which will be this 15th anyhow, April 15th. So, okay. April 15th, why does that date sound familiar?
Taxes.
Taxes.
Yeah.
I don't know, okay. All right, so let's go through the EAF. So let's see, we have the proposed action involve legislation with adoption of a plan local ordinance, administrative rule of regulation, no it does not. Does it require a permit, requires from building permits from us, yes. Total acreage of the site, now you say 60 to 200
Square. I just put the square foot of the buildings.
Square feet of the buildings,
Of the,
okay.
of
I see. Total acreage of the site of the action. So we're talking about the whole place, right?
Well,
Or is it just each?
whatever you want it to be. This is just a form.
All right, so what do you want it to be? Okay,
I think 60 to 200 square feet is a good way to handle it.
okay,
Sort of brings it down to size.
right. Acres to be disturbed. Okay. It is, the land use is rural and residential. Right. Proposed action is permitted under zoning regulations and it is consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan. I think it is, but I didn't read it for this context. What do you think, Michael? You're sticking there. This is like a trap you put me in, right?
It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Is the proposed action consistent with the predominant character of the existing built-in natural landscape? Of course it is. Is the site of the proposed action located in or does it adjoin a critical environmental area? Now, what about the,
It's not,
it's not,
it's
okay.
not listed as a critical.
Okay, good. Will the proposed action result in substantial increase in traffic? No. Public transportation services? Yes, there's the bus loop. Pedestrian accommodations, bicycle routes available. There's a bike lane going in here, right?
There is a bike lane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to check this box. Does the proposed action meet or exceed state energy code requirements? It's 3-season, no heat, no cooling, okay, so that would be yes. Will the proposed action connect to an existing public or private water supply? Well, proposed action will not, right, because there's no water on it, okay? Will it connect to existing wastewater? No wastewater will be generated by this. Does the site contain a structure that's listed? No, it's not historic. I'm sorry, I should read it. Does the site contain a structure that is listed on either state or national historic register of historic places? No. And it's not located in an archaeological sensitive area. Does any portion of the site proposed action or lands adjoining the proposed action contain wetlands? Well, there are wetlands there, but not these plots, right?
No.
So we say no, okay. Would the proposed action physically alter or encroach in any existing wetland? No. Type of habitat, types, identify typical habitat types that occur on, likely to be found approach, suburban sounds right to me. Does the site of the proposed action contain any species of animals? No. I mean, is the project site located in the 100-year flood plan? No. Plain. Will the proposed action create stormwater discharge either from point or non-point sources? No. And will stormwater discharges be directed to establish conveyance system? There are storm drains now, but this is not going to generate any more. So did you just notice, George?
Aren't you reconfiguring the downspouts on the building?
On the, yes, we will be, actually. We'll be capping the downspouts. May not have to reconfigure where the downspouts are going, but we'll be capping the gutter where the roof is going on up in there.
In any event, I would consider this to be a trivial change to it, so I don't think
Yeah.
it matters.
Right.
Okay. Does the proposed action include construction or other activities that result in impoundment of water or other liquids? No. Has the site of the proposed action or an adjoining property been the location of an active or closed solid waste management facility? No. Has the site of the proposed action or an adjoining property been the subject of remediation for hazardous waste? No. Okay. So that's that part. Now we get to say, will the proposed action create a material conflict with adopted land use? No.
No.
Will the proposed action result in a change use of intensity? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? Make it nicer. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure mentioned? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably? No. Will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies or wastewater treatment utilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic archaeological? No. Will the proposed action result in adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater? No. And there's page 4. Do we have page, does anybody have a page 4?
No, page
No.
4. Page 4.
There's no page 4 in the packet that I got. Is there supposed to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Well, there's a place where I have to sign it and,
I can run down and go get one right now.
okay. We'll pause the action. That's all right.
7th inning stretch.
Talk among yourselves. Don't run, walk, please. Village property.
We haven't done any of this, anything yet?
Okay. Sure. May I have a motion to determine that this application is complete?
So moved.
Mr. Litton, thank you. A second?
Second?
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to our voices. Just,
That's right, it's good.
we did that on purpose.
So Litton. Marshall. Are there any comments? Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Anything else you want to do?
Could you tell me what this means? It says self-reliance, there's something with like S.
Oh, that's the
Senior. outline
Senior Living Corp. That's the,
Senior Living Corporation.
yeah, that's the one.
That's their official name.
Yeah, they wrote that in for me. I had
Yeah.
questions, I didn't know the answer to that.
Senior Living Corporation. So this is a special permit use, and to do a special permit, and then we'll have to go through the special permit.
Okay.
We can draft up, but
Thank you, Dan.
Sure.
Jim has filled out the special permit questionnaire.
Did I fill?
You did fill it out?
Yeah, I did, okay.
Yeah. Those are any comments on it.
Okay, so the last two questions on page 4. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? Thanks, Rich. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? Depends what they do on it. Okay, so I am checking the box that says that I've determined based on the information analysis above and any supporting documentation, the proposed action will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts.
The motion for that.
Yes, I was just,
So moved.
I would like to first tell our secretary that in your absence, Mr. Litton made a motion to consider the application complete.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Harshaw seconded it, and it was approved unanimously.
Okay, and then it was motion to go to the county, or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
I think, I don't even know that that requires a motion. I think that's just
Well, I think it's better to have a motion.
happy to do it, okay. So, may I have a motion to accept the finding that this will not result in any adverse environmental impacts?
I'm going to give it a neg deck.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, aye. Now may I sign it? Good. It's exciting, isn't it, Jim? Today is March
Been through a lot of them in 20 years, that's for sure.
14.
A lot of variances. It's the first one I've had all to myself. That's very nice.
It's unusual.
Yeah.
Okay, so. May I present you with,
Thank you.
it's a copy of it. I made some additional scratchings to the first 3
Okay.
pages, and the fourth one
Great.
is the official thing there.
Thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion to refer this to Ulster County Planning Board as part of the required GLM 239M?
Yes.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Thank you, Liz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so as we said, or as I said, and nobody objected to it, we will submit this tomorrow. The soonest we can act on it would be the meeting after we get it back from them, which could be 30 days. So we're going to, they're not going to meet until, that's the problem here. I get it now.
You mean in the second?
Watch my lips here. So yes, they will meet on April 2nd. Our meeting after that will be April 15th. So we will schedule a public hearing for April 15th. And Jim, I guess it's you who will have to coordinate with, who does it, with you?
I do the public hearings.
Okay. So this has to be noticed in the newspaper. It has to be noticed to the neighbors.
Sure.
And
Sure.
work with Brogan. She'll give you the kit. And I think that's, yeah, the neighbors.
Yeah.
No, they're not neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Other cottages within, how many 100 feet, 200 feet?
And down home there, which is the property owner.
Oh.
But it might be useful to put up a notice in the, is there like a meeting hall or?
Well, you'll-
Yes, inside,
There's still
right.
properties that surround this.
Yeah.
Homes, it's village.
Oh, that's right, Lent,
Lent
yeah,
Drive.
yeah.
Well, so the building department can come up with a list of
That's
names of
right.
property owners
They will do that.
that you get a map.
Yep.
Yeah, we can, and then just put one up in the lobby and maybe on.
Okay, I think we're done. Right?
Does this require a public hearing?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're-
schedule one.
Oh, so we're gonna set that,
The chair said that.
okay.
Or do you want to do a motion?
We'll do a motion, sure. I have a motion to set a public hearing for Tuesday, April 15th, 2014.
So moved.
Thank you, John. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rich. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. April 15th. April 15th. Oh, come on, Rich, you'll be done long
The
before
heights of
that.
April.
Yeah, I know, worse than that.
So that, I will be here at that meeting, April 15th.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah. And then the county
The
meeting?
county, you don't have to do anything with the county.
I don't have to go to that meeting? Okay.
No.
All right, just want to make sure.
The county will meet 2 weeks before that, and they will send to us their determination.
Okay,
I can't imagine they'll say anything but no county impact,
okay.
and we'll just consider that during the public hearing, and probably be able to wrap everything up
Okay.
by then.
Well, thank
I
you
will,
very much.
I will ask for and hope to receive something from the building department in case they have any questions or concerns about this. So we'll bring that up at the public hearing.
Thank you. With the site plan, as I said, I've been waiting 2 months to get it from Woodland Pond, but they don't seem to.
Well, we
know
should have one on
anything
file
yet.
too, but as I said, we've had some personnel turnover and everything else.
Yeah,
and things.
no, but Brogan's been very good.
We're catching up.
She's-
Brogan is
she's-
very good,
She's
yeah.
been right on top of everything, so.
She's on it. Right. Okay, Jim, thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you. Okay,
See you tomorrow.
the next and final items on the agenda are adoption of draft minutes for 2 meetings. First one is February 4th, 2014. Are there any comments or suggestions or corrections to February 4th meeting minutes? Mr. Litton, you're making moaning noises?
No, I'm just reading, I was just reading the notes.
Okay,
So no,
I didn't know how to
fine.
interpret that, I'm sorry.
Interpret
You're
it
all right,
well.
okay. I have a motion to accept the draft planning board minutes for February 4th, 2014 meeting.
So moved.
Thank you, Rich. Second?
Yep.
Thank you, Liz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Zerler abstains. Were you not here that meeting?
Nope.
Mhm.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I missed you, but I forgot to have birthday. Okay, February 18th, I was not here.
I missed you.
You missed me, so good. We're even. May I have a motion to adopt the draft planning board minutes
So moved.
for February 18th, 2014, premature movement? Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Michael. All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain
How are this?
because I was not here.
There you go.
I was in Florida being warm.
Being warm. Thank you. Thank you.
rub it in.
Okay. Yeah, it was
We'll wear shorts that night.
I will tell you, I think I told George this, but that morning, the first morning we were there in Daytona, or near Daytona, we went out to the dock in the back of the house, and 3 dolphins are swimming around. One of them comes right up to Celia at her feet and just does one of these, you know,
Flipper thing?
like, you know, well, where's my fish, Dad? You know? And we saw all kinds of, amazing birds, and it was fabulous, really fabulous. And being warm was really nice. I see why they do it, these snowbirds. Okay, may I have a motion to adjourn? Oh, yes, sorry.
The last meeting, the people in from the apartments about the decks,
Oh, yes,
and their old board, or members of their old board.
Yeah.
Mr. Curran,
Yes, was quite upset
yes.
because he felt that that board didn't have the
And he
authority.
may be correct, and I told him this months ago, 6 months ago, when I first spoke to him about this, that this is a job for his attorney to evaluate.
Okay.
We can't do anything about it, it's not on our table. I would like to help him and them, but this is not.
I just followed through on my promise to bring it up to George.
You have 2 boards?
The old board was claiming that the new board didn't have the authority to spend this money.
They cited,
And I don't see where that's our concern.
No, it's not.
they brought it up at a public hearing that their bylaws require expenditures over a certain dollar amount need to be voted on by the entire condominium community.
Oh, I see.
And the argument at the public hearing was that if we take an action, it may be deemed illegal by their condominium
They
board.
don't have to build it. If they don't have the money, they don't build it.
No, what he's saying is that the new board wants this done. The board that was in place at the time that the vote should have been taken or was taken Is that it?
That didn't even come up.
Oh,
Hearing.
But they're just saying that this board doesn't need authority, they haven't gone through a public vote of all the owners.
Their condominium has not done that,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So,
But we got,
It wouldn't affect us anyway, right? I
no,
mean, it's,
we got a letter from someone on the board, I forgot who it was, saying that they approved this.
mhm.
So I think we're done. We can't do
Yeah.
anything but approve it if everything else is approvable.
Right,
Mhm.
that's true.
So it's up to Mr. Curran and his associates to do something with a lawyer. It ain't our job.
So if they get a site, if we give them approval for a site plan change and the building department issues a permit, it's then up to the condominium whether or not
That's right.
it actually gets
Right.
built.
Yeah.
Okay,
Owners could sue the board or, to try to stop it.
Yeah.
but it doesn't put us in.
Take it to court.
No,
Doesn't involve
no,
us.
it's
Okay.
not our business. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So
this
moved.
meeting? Thank you, Mr. Steffen. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
No, sir.
Hearing none, I will ask for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was a unanimous vote to adjourn. Thank you, Mr.
Good night.
Videographer.
Is there not?
Thank